Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. This past weekend, I was gone again. I know my friend said, do you even unpack your bags? But I'll be happy to let you know I put my luggage down in the basement, and I'm pretty sure I heard Henry do a little sigh of relief of, oh, at least she's staying put for a second. Anyway, I was in the Blue Ridge Mountains at a women's retreat. I went to the retreat kind of heavy and just weighed down and left feeling so much lighter, letting go of some things and dealing with some stuff that's kind of uncomfortable. So on that note, in today's video, I am going to be using a new color to me, DIY paint in the color Cowgirl Coral. If you want to see how I use this color that's very bright for my wheelhouse, stick around. The first project this week is the one that had me grab this new to me color, Cowgirl Coral. I got this picture a while back when I went to an estate sale. Just like last week's picture, I bought it in this lot of a bunch of pictures, and I loved the print, but the frame was super dinged up and didn't seem like it went with it. So I got out Cowgirl Coral, did 2 coats of it, and you can see this matte, it's like an interesting matte. If it didn't look good, I was going to take it out, but I ended up liking the end result, so I left it in. But the matte is like this glossy old, I don't know, it almost looks like a foil type thing underneath, and there's definitely age to it. So I didn't want to paint the frame and have it look freshly painted. So because this DIY paint is a clay-based paint, it does not cure until it is sealed. It is very easy to get the paint off of the glass, and then I'm just using a very wet rag to wet distress it, bring some of those dark colors back through, because again, the print and the matte look very aged, and I just freshly painted it and I did not want it to look that way. So I cleaned off the mirror, and then I used this brush. I don't know if I got it at Walmart or Michael's way back in the day, but it's a very good, stiff, cheap brush for wax, and I used DIY clear wax on top of it. I wanted to put some dark wax, but I wanted to be able to control it. So if you put the clear wax on first, your paint is not going to look muddy. So I put the clear wax on, then I got some dark wax, and I'm just using another cheap, stiff stencil brush that I never really clean out. I just only use it for this color. And I put it over to make the whole thing look old, and I'm super happy with the results. Take a look. There's always one project in the bunch. This was something that I had started a while back. I thrifted this piece. I did the baking soda with white paint mixture all over it. And I guess I'm just not a super fan of white baking soda mixture. So I was like, well, let's finish this project up, because, it's just been sitting around in the to be done. So I used my new Perfectionist brush from DIY Paint. By the way, if you asked me today what my favorite one of the brushes is, this would be it. Especially for smalls, there's that tip. Anyway, so I did 2 coats of this Cowgirl Coral on here. And guys, I was like, whoa, that's a lot of pink. But it kept going. I mean, I'm doing stuff that's a little uncomfortable, right? Using colors that are not normally my wheelhouse. And I I was like, well, I like this better than the white, right? With the baking soda mixture, because there's that texture. So I finished it up and I went over it with the DIY Big Top coat, because I wanted there to be a little bit of a sheen to it to make it look like pottery. And then I got a little impatient to try to get this project done. I ended up getting the IOD traditional pots transfer set out, found a cute white one, did not wait long enough, did not wait for everything to dry, and it started peeling off a little bit. So you will see that I get it on there as best I can. I go over it with the big top to make sure the transfer sticks on there. Then I wait a little bit and come back for the rest of it. And I am going to add some dark wax just because I think this looks too crisp and new. But listen, it can be styled with other colors. It's not like it has to, like, it's a great accent piece, but it is not normally in my wheelhouse. I'm proud of myself for stepping outside of my color zone, my color comfort zone. But let me know what you think of this total project here in the comments below. This next one was just in my, I don't know, like my wood pile, I guess, of things that I've thrifted. But I definitely did not thrift this one. Look at this. My oldest Piper made this when she was 5 years old. Now, she built the box, which she did an amazing job. But the paint job has made it so she wanted to put it in the basement. Like, she didn't want to do anything with it. So I decided to cover up her little signature and paint the whole thing Cowboy Coral. Now, her room is like this light, beautiful turquoise color, and I thought this would be a really good accent. She also gets the privilege of being a 13-year-old who shares a bathroom with her 8-year-old sister. So she likes to carry her supplies in and out of the bathroom because otherwise they get consumed by the 8-year-old. You know what I mean? So this is going to the second coat, and I'm going to show you right here that I'm going to use this little mister that I got at Hobby Lobby. Just going to spray it and help smooth out the second coat. Some people were saying that they were having trouble with the paint looking cakey, and the clay-based paint is a very thick paint by nature. So if you spray that second coat with water, then you can really thin it out and get it to be a nice smooth finish. Now, what we're going to do is finish the outside of this with DIY Big Top, and Piper said she wanted her name and some flowers, so I will let you watch me finish this up. But she's going to use this as her little bathroom caddy, and it's something she made when she was 5 years old. So this one is super simple. Gotta have a super simple one in the group. This, I don't know that I paid anything for this. I want to say my mom's neighbor's daughter gave this to me. But, let's make something tall in this color to add to the vignette in my booth. So I just started right away with the Cowboy Coral. I didn't go incredibly thick over the basket area because I knew I wanted to distress it back. I was a little nervous that I did not put any shellac on here. I was nervous about the bleed through, but this one didn't bleed through. I got lucky on this one. So I went over it twice with Cowboy Coral, did a pretty thorough wet distressing with a wet rag just so it could be coral and wood, so there was this nice two-tone look to it. Went over it with DIY Big Top, super simple, just treating this like a basket makeover, but it is also a nice tall piece that would look good with a grouping if you wanted to add this color to your life. So happy with this one. What do you guys think? Okay, so I might be doing some chairs and some videos coming up because I need to do some chairs in my home. We have been using these. I got these at a consignment place where the price had gone down all the way that it could. And I have chairs that I need to redo that match the table in our kitchen, and we have just been using these consignment chairs. So if I paint the chairs we're using, maybe that'll make me redo the ones that we're supposed to be using, right? So I thought this would be really fun to add some color to my booth. This is the first time I'm using the feather brush from DIY, and I like how, first let's talk about this. I have paint on there. It's kind of dragging on the wood, so I'm using the mister to pull the paint. The first coat of paint, it's not super important. You're just trying to get coverage, but I could feel it just dragging, so I added a little bit of water to it so it dragged across the top. And then I'll show you again how I use the water, especially for the second coat. So I'm just going for coverage on here. I was thinking this could be like a dry brush look, but I really wanted the paint to get there's two ways you can make a chair look old, right? You can either make it look like it was painted really well back in the day and it is worn off, or you can make it look like it just wasn't painted very well and it was kind of just skimmed over, if that makes sense, like a dry brush kind of look. So I wanted this one to look painted really well, so I wanted the paint to get down in the crevices. I really like this feather brush and how I was able to get in between the spindles well. The thicker brushes, I feel like it's more chunky, but this really worked well, in my opinion, for the spindle part of this project. I do get the perfectionist out later to get into the nitty-gritty details. Again, because I wanted everything to look like it was painted well, and then I was going to distress back. Right here you'll see the perfectionist, and I'm just getting a lot of paint on it and just getting it down into those spots. And again, I really love this perfectionist brush. I am going to go to my booth and get a couple others so I can have multiples for multiple colors going. So here is the second coat. There are two options. You can spray the existing paint that has dried and reactivate it and still move it around. Or what I like to do is put the new paint on there already and then spray it so that it can thin out really well. You can see that the existing paint has like a translucent to it when water's added. So it's just adding this nice, almost like chalky like layer when the clay gets kind of thinned out, and it has a smoother finish. So I did tell Robin that I would cover this in this week's video because I think a lot of people use the DIY paint in their YouTube videos, but I don't want you to forget to use water. You could not do this with a latex paint or with some of those other paints with top coats already built in. But you can play with the smoothness, with the texture, with the coverage. And even if it's dry, you can come back and get it wet. And it really does make me feel like an artist, like I have control over what it looks like. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm going with my second coat. I'm using water to make sure I control the finish, and I was going to wet distress. In fact, I started wet distressing a little bit, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go outside, get my orbital sander, hit all the spots quickly, and then I went over it with clear wax. I was considering using dark wax as well, but I think I'm just going to stick with this. Put it in my booth, hang it from the wall like a little shelf, and see how this goes over. It is a lot of pink, but I think it's really cute, and I can imagine like a little girl's room with a white desk and have this pop of color pink chair. Now I gotta work on a chair to replace it in my house. So what do you guys think? Did you have a favorite? I don't even know what my favorite is this week. Maybe it is the chair because it's a fun, bright pop of color. I could totally see it in a little girl's room, you know, muted down with like a white desk or something, and then this like little pop of color. But that is just my color scheme, and I think I really like this color as an accent piece. But I know there are plenty of people out there that would be like, well, let's do a whole hutch in this color. So I just wanted to introduce this color to you, kind of feel where I want it within my color scheme. I'm excited to put this in the booth and see how it goes over. So I would like to encourage you guys to do stuff that's a little bit out of your wheelhouse every once in a while. Be a little uncomfortable, because you can be like, nope, you know what? I was right. This isn't my normal thing to do. Or you could be like, huh, I never thought of trying something like this, and I'm glad I did because I realize I like it. So step out of your wheelhouse, do some creativity for you. Push yourself. Guys, I am so excited that you're here on this journey with me. If you are not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell to all so you get updated every time I upload a new video. I will have you know that my daughter Piper worked on recording the book folding tutorial while I was gone, but it turns out that sometimes moms know a thing or two, and it's not as easy to figure out as some 13-year-olds might think. So we're gonna work on that together this coming week to hopefully get it in the next video. But she is working on a book folding tutorial for you guys. I am so excited about the encouragement you guys have offered from showing my family with you. I know that when I watch people, like, I like to get to know who they are and their families, so I'm encouraged that you guys like enjoyed that video with my family. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite project was, and guys, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to create and do something for you. Bye.